this particular strategy of working with elected women representatives has been implemented in the state of Rajasthan and in India since 2000.
Welcome to the spiritual home of the Hunger Project. How can we not fear death? How can we not be unhappy? How can we end violence? How can we see people dying of hunger? How do you deal with it? So Buddha said very nicely with a smile, expansion. And when do you expand? When you give. Please think from where they come. Please immediately think from where you come. And then think, how are you going to expand?
Getting out and having a look at these ladies and how they've defined their space is going to help me work out where my space is actually, and I don't think it's going to be where it was before I came on this.
One thing I noticed is a sense of fun. They enjoyed themselves and it was overwhelming for me. Actually, I thought it was quite emotional. You know, maybe we need to have a little bit more fun and enjoy what we do because I think for me, it's like the glue. It's the glue that makes it success for them.
During the rock building exercise, there was the discussion afterwards about why one of the groups didn't have success. They talked about, we didn't have the right shaped rocks. And I guess it's for me that whole thing about resilience and having a strategy and an ability to cope with a raft of different things that might come your way.
She said because the stones were of different shapes, we didn't have the tools to break the stones and to make it better.
You don't always get to choose the rocks to put in your path. Whatever we have in a bank, in a very regulated environment, we are going to have rocks. And I think it's how we choose to respond to those rocks.
The strongest leaders can be your most unlikely leaders. Badu Devi is a living example of this. She comes from the poorest of the poor section in the village and the lowest caste in the village, which means that she's actually lives in a segregated section. But with THP giving her the opportunity and the support to become a leader, she's now the village president, achieving wells in the village, achieving education for the village children, and creating a sense of pride and unity within the village.
She thinks she wants to study and wants to make her country proud.
She told us how she went to her first couple of meetings, she said nothing, and she was completely veiled. At the first meeting, completely veiled. The second meeting, the veil came up to here, and the third meeting, it lifted, and she started to participate.
When I was listening to that story, I thought of the veil as a metaphor and thought, what are our veils? And what do we need to do to lift them? And understanding what we need to do to change them is also who are the women outside the window. So, the window in the second village, and there were those women that wouldn't come in. Who in our organization are standing outside the window?
The women, what they're achieving are remarkable in terms of breaking stereotypes, in terms of projecting that women can be effective leaders despite the challenges.
Her name is Mulli Meena and she is the president of this village.
I think her vision is to have concrete roads in her entire village. Women and men who can all speak English, who are all educated, who all work. She wants that for all the girls and the boys in her village. That's it.
Mulli Meena, she was just outstanding and epitomised everything that's leadership. She never gives up. She knows her rights and she fights for them, and because of that, of course, she's got lots of people in her corner.
She had actually mastered the art of driving those personal relationships to get people to support you. We need to get on a much stronger personal relationship to drive it.
the spirit that they show and the openness to welcome us, the continued groups that we went into to get more intensive to talk about the issues they face.
That was fantastic. The people had so many stories to tell, from women who got married at 13 and served 2 terms in government and did all the things that they thought was not possible, removed all the barriers.
These women are really passionate, and to bring that back into the workforce will be a huge enabler, I think. Also being expansive, getting your stakeholders on board, working to break down silos and really work as one bigger team to get out there and bring value to clients and lead clients to tomorrow in their business will be a huge thing.
When we go back to Australia, we will tell your stories and we will take a little bit of all of you in our hearts. Thank you very much.
Leadership can be of any type, any kind, of any dimension. But if it does not have the basic principles of compassion, love, a sense of belonging and interconnectedness, it is not going to make this planet what you and me wish to.